Racial Disparities and Disproportionalities in Child Welfare by Deshae Johnson. Throughout the slide, I will talk about the issues related to child welfare. Black and white families are the main target today in the child welfare system. Black families are put in the category that they're unable to take care of their children because they're based off their financial needs, their homes, how they might carry themselves when white people, children, families might have the same issues, but they're not basically the target African Americans are. Throughout research, investigators used different methods. One method was used actually it was two methods used was the difference in different method and blender oxycodone method to identify the issues related to racial disparities and disproportionalities in child welfare. Even though there was numerous research done, there was no evidence that it actually exists, but researchers did find that black children are actually a main target of maltreatment rather than white families. Researchers Sarah found, along with her other researchers, did examinations, and the explanation consists of 59% of bias and reports. 59% of bias reports were given by professionals such as workers, teachers, law enforcement, parents, neighbors. A lot of people was involved giving their position on how they feel about maltreatment along the black and African American families along with the white families too. There was 41% are made by non-professionals as well. There were several theories being submitted about racial disparities in the CPS involvement. Some consist of racial bias in reports from CPS as well as stages of the CPS process. The first theory addresses the disproportionality of black parents and black parents. The second theory clarifies the disparity in the institutional racism level. Second theory clarifies that black families have a higher risk of CPS involvement than white families because of higher risk of abuse and neglect. And the last theory, the disparities in CPS presented reflected racial bias and evidence that provided that bias among African American families are reported more than it is for white families. The main issue there is basically like there is bias, but it's not reported to the fact that it should be reported. Like they're more focusing on how a black family is viewed in the eyes of society when there are children outside in the United States, across the United States, who are actually being racially targeted because of where they come from, like their background, their culture, etc., like their different living arrangements. More research was done, and another researcher basically said that in order for you to be racially disparate, you are being judged by your culture, how you are carried out throughout your family, how you're raised, your environment. He did a study, and it consisted of bias, negative characteristics about low-income homes. Along with that, data was collected, a post-test examination was done, and it was basically a training was done. It was voluntary to show that people basically put their position on how they feel about always black families being the target when white families are actually more in the issue. The study had limitations. Researchers concluded that the training involved in child welfare can help address racism, power, oppression, and the privilege to help raise awareness of individuals and bias that may affect families negatively. in the black community. Not only the black community, but all those who are actually targeted in racial disparities across the United States. Another study was done, the same study was done. The training ranges from 21 and 60. Due to the lack of limitations, the control group threats cannot control internal fertility. Researchers concluded that training professionals involved in child welfare system can help address issues related to child welfare. Like there are different trainings they can get in. As far as like caseworkers, they can work on ways of how to evaluate cases and not just think about color, race, etc. throughout investigating different families of color, Native Americans, Hispanics, etc. And basically, we just basically have to address the racial disparities, overcome challenges in child welfare, help all families of race and color to seek help. They need to help get their kids and not just put them in foster care and give them a negative effect of not being with their parents. Like, we all can just get along, like be an advocate for the black community, so Hispanics, Native Americans, all those who are targeted by racial disparities. But throughout my research and looking at other research, I found that African Americans are really being discriminated because of their environment. Like, that everybody believe, even researchers believe that African Americans are only the people in the world who are subject for maltreatment, when there are other kids out there too, but it's not reported because caseworkers are lacking training. They're not actually evaluating the case of what it actually is. They're only looking at it for what they believe is okay, or they see that just because you stay in this neighborhood, you're unable to take care of your kids, so they put your black kids in foster care. But if it was a white side, they'll seek training programs, etc. for the kids. But it's a big issue today, especially racial disparities, and I didn't realize that it was a big issue dealing with race and child welfare system. But basically that's it, and I'm just hoping that there is a change for African American families throughout the United States.